The MMA glove, just a few millimeters of leather, nearly 100 grams of padding, and exposed fingers. It looks less padded than the traditional boxing glove, but does more padding mean more protection for fighters? Former UFC heavyweight champion Bas Rutten should know he's fought wearing boxing gloves, MMA gloves, and bare knuckles. This test will measure them all.
We're using an instrumented heavy bag which measures force. We're going to use the boxing glove, we're going to use your MMA glove, and then we're going to use your bare knuckle. 3, 2, 1, go.
Common sense might suggest that more padding means more protection. After all, the boxing glove looks softer. But is this fighting fact or martial myth? Looks can be deceiving, but you can't fool this punching bag. Without the padding of gloves, the bare fist delivers the most force. Between the knuckles and jawbone, only 2 thin layers of skin. Basically, bone on bone. The bare fist delivers nearly 370 kilos of force. It causes the brain to recoil and slosh within the skull. Potential bone damage also occurs to the fighter's hand delivering the punch. The thin MMA gloves are designed for speed, versatility, and grappling. They weigh almost 0.2 kilograms and contain nearly 0.1 kilograms of padding, 2 centimeters thick. Compared to bare knuckles, the MMA glove impact is less, 295 kilos. Stunning, but not always a knockout. Boxing gloves range from 0.2 to 0.5 kilograms. They contain many times the padding of MMA gloves. Just over 6 centimeters of foam lie between the attacker's fist and defender's face. We would think that more padding means more protection. But here's the scientific surprise. The force delivered, 291 kilograms, nearly identical to the MMA glove. Myth-shattering. In gloves, bigger isn't necessarily better.
Bas, when you did the boxing glove, we had 641 pounds of force. When you did the MMA glove, we had 651 pounds of force. And when you had your bare hand, it was 776 pounds of force.
The difference between MMA gloves and boxing gloves? Hair splitting. A mere 4 kilograms of force.
Mirko looks tentative, though.
Despite all of MMA's power, the Ultimate Fighting Championship has a track record of fewer injuries than many other contact and combative sports. One of the main reasons, the athletes train just as hard to sustain a hit as to inflict one. One issue UFC masters take very seriously: safety. Rules are in place to keep the sport safe. For trained professionals, data suggests that it's no more dangerous than boxing. Even so, their universal message remains: don't try this at home.
Superman punch caught him.
The saying goes, never kick a man when he's down. That's also true for the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
I'm tapping and I'm not even in there.
Safety rules prohibit kicking, kneeing, or stomping the head of a grounded opponent. There's also no biting, no kicks to the groin, no eye gouging. So why did UFC install so many rules? Credibility. Less violence means recognition as a legitimate sport. It also means star-studded careers last longer, and that means more fans. But a wealth of safety rules does not mean a lack of targets. This laboratory reveals a whole host of them. These are the anatomical secrets of some of the body's weakest links. A mixed martial artist sees the entire body as a host of targets. He identifies anatomical weakness, then strikes. From head to toe, a series of critical bullseyes. He also uses the same knowledge of anatomy for defense. First and foremost, protect the head with blocks and feints. Floating in cerebrospinal fluid, if unguarded, the brain is ripe for a knockout. Keep the chin down to protect the fragile windpipe. To protect the lungs and heart, train for years to harden muscles in the abs and chest and exhale upon impact. To safeguard the liver and kidneys, fighters strengthen the abdominal back and pelvic muscles. To prevent leg and foot fractures, fighters harden bones through impact conditioning, kicking hard objects thousands of times per day. Every anatomical target is a focal point for attack as well as for defense. Why? Break one link, and the whole chain fails. As in boxing, many MMA fights are won by knockout. Unlike a traditional boxer, an MMA fighter can strike with his arms or his legs. An expert with either limb, Bas Rutten usually lets the opponent's defense determine his offense. In a fraction of a second, he decides whether to punch or kick, and where. Here's how.
I have a total different fighting stance than everybody else has. And this allows me to hit with every limb that I have, left hook, right straight, left leg, right leg, with full power. Now my jab becomes a left straight. I can kick way more easy. Look, I make a little step, and there is the kick. My fight stance is different and unique, but it works for me.
So how does Bas choose between the punch and the kick? The great advantages of a punch: speed and accuracy. The key is leverage. In a punch, the lever arm is short and in line with the fighter's own eyes. He can snap it out quickly, with power, and on target. But the punch has a problem: limited range. In a traditional boxing stance, only 0.9 meters on average. From a square MMA stance, 1.2 meters. The longer a lever, the more massive the punch's power. It's called mechanical advantage. A kick uses the body's longest levers or bones to maximum effect, increasing the power potential and threatening targets farther away. Each additional 0.3 of a meter of reach triples the spherical attack area. The leg can attack nearly 0.9 cubic meters of space. So if a leg increases an attacker's reach and maximizes the amount of force delivered, why not kick every time? The need for accuracy. Despite their advantages in reach and power, kicks are harder to target, easier to block, and leave you more vulnerable to counterattack. For reliability and accuracy, the punch is the more effective knockout tool. But the question remains, is one target better than another? Fighters' slang includes terms like glass jaws and paper chins, the ideal spots to land a fight-stopping blow. In the quest to win a fight by knockout, is there really an anatomical bullseye?
The concept for looking for a knockout is looking for the light switch. It's usually here on side of the temple or the back of the ear. You knock their equilibrium off, and they're lights out.